Okay. All right. Hold on one sec. Okay. Okay. So let's get started here. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa, and I am 53 years old and have never felt better in my life. I have been married to my best friend and love of my life for 27 years. It'll be actually 28 next month. We have two amazing sons, Logan, who is 26, going to be 27 next month, and one of our panelists tonight, and Mason, who is 24. And I was fortunate and blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home mom, a job that will always be my biggest accomplishment. Hold on. Can we have everybody mute themselves out?
There we go.
Okay, thank you. All right, so stay-at-home mom, it's a job that will be my biggest accomplishment forever. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology and child development and my teacher credentials. I'm a fitness competitor and have educated myself on all things fitness, nutrition, wellness, and everything that goes along with it. I've had my own health journey, which I will share with you a little later, which has led me to really finding my happy place in helping people find their healthiest self, which happens to be by creating a lifestyle that they love by eating to live, not living to eat, moving every day, and creating a positive mindset around it all. I feel so blessed that I get to be your host for the next 30-ish minutes. And we are so happy to have you join our Healthy at Every Age event sponsored by the Healthy Living Revolution. The Healthy Living Revolution is a community of like-minded women and men with a passion for inspiring healthy living through proper nutrition and wellness. I am so passionate about fueling our bodies and that can make a significant impact now and for our future. The goal of the Healthy Living Revolution is to come alongside families who want better health and meet them where they're at and empower positive changes along the way. And tonight you're going to be listening to an amazing group of humans from ages 20 to 70 share their struggles and inspirational stories around their health journey. I am truly passionate about putting food in my body that fuels it to make it work to its best ability. So I do my best to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible, but sometimes it's just hard and to get in a wide variety and a minimum of 7 to 13 fistfuls each and every day. Our lives are so full, especially trying to navigate through our crazy times today. The one thing we all have in common on this panel is pressing the easy button when it comes to bridging the gap of servings of fruits and vegetables that we are eating and that we don't eat with plant powders that are in a capsule or a gummy and called Juice Plus. My amazing friend Kristen will be blowing your minds with how extraordinary these plant powders are. But first, I want to give her a formal introduction. So Kristen is a wife of a retired military officer, but I think not just an officer. Is that right, Kristen? Like he's more than just that. He's a lot more.
No, he was just an officer. Yeah. He's a retired colonel. Yeah.
Colonel. Yes, that's not just an officer. Come on now. I knew that it was more. Anyway, and she's a mom of 3, almost grown boy. Well, I mean, they are grown. Her last one is finishing, is a junior in high school. The rest are done. She attended Oregon State University on a gymnastics scholarship and earned her degree in dietetics. After working as a certified dietitian for 10 years, she switched gears to raise her family. 4 years ago, she became a certified personal trainer and decided to use her nutrition and fitness skills to help people with their health and fitness journeys. She lives in Tucson, Arizona, where she continues to enjoy stay-at-home mom life, cycling, working out, and working on her business around her life instead of her life around her business. Take it away, Kristen, and blow our minds with the clean, good nutrition from Juice Plus, what Juice Plus does for our health.
Yeah, so I hope to give you a little bit of a perspective from a 30-year registered dietitian now. I've been a dietitian for over 30 years and actually absolutely love that field of study, have loved it for forever. So I'm assuming that many of you have joined us because you're somewhere between the ages of 20 and 80, and you'd love to live your best life ever. So when many of us think of how to accomplish this, we think of things like calories, carbs, protein, weight management, and exercise. So, and these are all important. But what I know is that the foundation of optimal health begins with good nutrition. There is no condition or ailment that is worsened because of good nutrition. And most conditions can be improved with improved nutrition. So there are two main things that our body needs that our body needs to fuel optimal health. And like a car, I like to think of them as being gasoline and oil. So the body's gasoline is called macronutrition, and it consists of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And just like a car, if our body doesn't have proper macronutrition, it'll simply stop working. So in the athlete world, Lisa mentioned I'm a retired gymnast, but in the athlete world, we often refer to this as hitting the wall. And sometimes the first signs of running low on gasoline is irritability, agitation, and an I can't attitude. And this is generally followed by a really sharp decline in performance. So, and the remedy is to just refuel with more carbohydrate, fat, and protein, and time. It takes a little bit of time to turn that energy into to turn that food into energy. So micronutrition, on the other hand, is vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and phytonutrients, and acts like the oil in our cars. So this nutrition doesn't run our body, but it helps our body to run most efficiently. So we often think of macronutrition as being the most important part of nutrition, but micronutrition, you guys, that's where it's happening. It's particularly important to health. And if it's ignored, the body starts to break down, resulting in injury, illness, and conditions like tendinitis, arthritis, tonsillitis, bronchitis, asthma, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disease, GI conditions, depression, anxiety, and even cancer, right? I said them fast because honestly, the list goes on and on. I could keep going, but I'm going to stop it there. These are conditions that can end athletic careers. They can decrease health and mental health. They can cause death, not even to mention causing financial problems, personal and interpersonal relationship issues, and really just suck the joy out of our lives. I mean, let's face it, if you don't have your health, it's hard to have any other dreams other than to be healthy. So it's important to understand what causes the conditions I described above. And in a nutshell, I don't want to get too geeky on you guys, but in a nutshell, just living causes oxidation and free radical damage. And this oxidative stress and the free radicals are very reactive substances that cause inflammation. And if they're not neutralized, this inflammation causes the conditions that I listed above. So the question becomes, how do we neutralize oxidative stress? Well, we put a lot of antioxidants into the body. And where do antioxidants come from? Primarily from the vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables. And here's a crazy thing. Like Lisa said, you guys, we need 7 to 13 servings from a wide variety of fruits and vegetables every single day, 365 days a year. And nobody is getting that much. The CDC says that 10% of people are getting enough fruits and vegetables in their body every on a daily basis. So without getting that, our body it can't operate optimally. But the other crazy thing is it will try to for as long as it can. So we don't see the effects of not putting in enough fruits and vegetables every single day until we start breaking down. And we start having little issues that turn into the bigger issues that I mentioned above. So like Lisa said, we've all done something in common. Everyone that's on this panel tonight have done something in common by putting Juice Plus concentrated plant powders into our bodies every day. And what really is Juice Plus, you guys? It's simply this. It's 30 different non-GMO, pesticide and herbicide-free fruits, vegetables, and berries that have been made into powders and encapsulated or put into gummies. That's it. These powders are rich in the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients required for neutralizing oxidative stress. They're not meant to replace the fruits and vegetables that we should be eating. As a dietitian, food always comes first, but they can bridge the gap between the fruits and vegetables that we should be eating and what we're actually eating. And as a dietitian and personal trainer, I appreciate that Juice Plus is backed by 40 plus studies that have been written up in peer-reviewed journals, and that the research shows that one, it gets into the body. That means it's bioavailable, and it basically does the same thing that fruits and vegetables do in our body. I appreciate that the injuries that plagued and eventually ended my gymnastics career as a high-level collegiate gymnast have not occurred in my active kids, and that my kids have been able to get this nutrition in their body for free. Ask us how we do that, but we'll be happy to tell you it's free for any child. I also appreciate that the chronic hip and back pain that I suffered with for years, as well as my allergies and even an autoimmune disease, have greatly improved by adding Juice Plus to my already healthy diet. Let's face it, I'm a dietitian. If you would ask me 10 years ago if I ate healthy, I would have said yes. I still think I eat pretty healthy, but I'm not getting 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables in my body every single day, and it showed. And finally, I appreciate that at 54 years old, I'm still able to exercise daily without debilitating pain and chronic conditions that plague so many people my age. So the micronutrition has been a game changer for me and my family. In addition to these plant powders, the company also has a vegan, that means no fish are harmed in the making of our omega supplement, which has further aided my athletic recovery, as well as my skin, joint, and brain health. We also have a plant-based protein powder, which allows me to put high quality gasoline. I'm going back to macronutrition in my body. I use it as a pre or post workout, or just a fast meal like a fast meal, and love that in addition to containing 15 plants that my body needs, it also has good carbohydrate and protein. And in addition, the fiber in it acts as a prebiotic. That means that it provides food for the good bacteria in my gut. And by doing that, it actually improves my gut health. And finally, our company has an incredibly cool aeroponic garden that allows me to grow my own fruit and vegetable inside or out with no soil, no weeds, no pesticides, as well as using 90% less water and space as traditional gardening. So that is just a recap of sort of what our company does. We're gonna, now that you have the background, I'm gonna turn it back over to Lisa, and we are gonna get our panel talking. So take it away, Lisa.
Wow, thank you, Kristen. I always seem to have a new aha moment every time I hear someone talk about what fruits and vegetables and berries and omegas do in our bodies. And I love, love, love the breakdown of the macronutrients and the micronutrients, because it really puts it into perspective of what our body needs at different times and what makes our bodies function. Which obviously can go in two directions. It can, depending upon what we're putting inside our body, it can go the route where, again, named all the itises, or it can go in, where we're staying healthy and living life and having better dreams than being healthy. So I am so excited to introduce our first panelist to everyone tonight. I feel really lucky to have not only one, but two amazing 20-somethings to share their stories with us. So Francesca is a very accomplished 23-year-old that is a certified professional life coach and energy leadership index master practitioner from IPEC. When she got her associate's degree in business administration, she decided that she wanted to take a different route and help people discover their potential on a deeper level. She aspires to continue her journey and deepen her practice by becoming a master mindset coach in the near future. She also happens to be Logan's girlfriend, who I love and adore her and couldn't be more proud of her. Francesca, floor is yours.
Hello, thank you for that introduction. That was awesome. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited to be here. It's my first time speaking about this, and I'm really excited to get the opportunity. So, yeah, my name is Francesca Heyman. I'm 23 years old, and I am a certified professional life coach, and I currently live in San Diego, California. Ever since I was about like 16 years old, I got very interested in fitness, mindset, and my overall well-being. And that was also around the time I started eating a plant-based diet. And so eating more fruits and vegetables became a main focus for me. So fast forward 7 years to now, I'm continually like learning and expanding my awareness around wellness and how what we internally put into our bodies is bound to show up externally and physically. So for example, before I started taking Juice Plus, I struggled with like minor acne, and I would take acne medication to help prevent breakouts from occurring. I would also have a hard time remembering small details when I was in class, and my brain would sometimes like feel foggy throughout the day. And so another major thing I realized was I only wanted to work out in the early mornings because that's when I had most energy. And like around the afternoon or evening, I wouldn't have that same energy level to even want to do a workout. And not to mention, my diet wasn't the healthiest as I would have liked it to be. So getting sick was kind of a frequent thing for me. So around 5 months ago, I was introduced to Juice Plus by Lisa and Logan. And when she told me all about it and the amazing stories that other people had from taking it, I was immediately interested in trying it out. And I have a motto that goes, you never know until you try. So I figured that I would just give it a shot, try it out and see what happens, because a few more fruits and vegetables, wouldn't really hurt. So it turns out it was honestly one of the best investments that I made into myself and in my health, because I don't have to take acne medication anymore, which is like so important for me to like put that into my body. So my body is like flourishing from, those essential vitamins and nutrients, and it's healthy from like the inside out, which is really shows. And my memory has improved like a really great amount, and I don't have to worry about any of that brain fog at the end of the day. I also haven't gotten sick since I started taking Juice Plus, which is like so great because with COVID and everything going on, like it just makes me feel that I have that more peace of mind, and I'm just more extremely healthy from the inside out. And most importantly, my energy levels are like greatly increased. So I can work out in the morning, afternoon, nighttime, and like even throw in some cardio, because I used to never want to do cardio, but now I can do it. So it's nice. So yeah, I'm really grateful to have Juice Plus and be a part of my daily wellness routine and all the benefits that come with getting those fruits, those full servings, those fruits, veggies, and omegas through the capsule form. So yeah, thank you.
Well, first, I love how self-aware you are and in tune with your body to know that you wanted more and knew that you absolutely needed more whole food nutrition, even as a vegetarian. And one of the qualities I love most about you is your willingness to learn and listen and have an open mind. And you've seen such fantastic results in just 5 months of, making this one simple change. And your skin is gorgeous. So, I mean, it's done its job. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. Totally appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I am so excited to introduce our next panelist that's going to share. Logan is a very active 26, almost 27-year-old that has been an athlete all his life. He has played football from the age of 10, and he went to JSR High School and played 4 years there, and which is considered to be one of the hardest divisions in the entire country, called the Trinity League. He was team captain, homecoming king his senior year, and then he went off to play Division I collegiate football. And then after graduating with his bachelor's degree in business, he landed a great job at Quest Software as a business development rep. And before I hand this off to him, I just wanted to say, in case you guys didn't hear earlier, that he's not only an extraordinary human being, but he just so happens to be my firstborn baby boy, and that I love so much. So Logan, everyone can see from your bio that you are an athlete to the core. And for pretty much your whole football career, you didn't have, you weren't eating Juice Plus. And even though you aren't under those extreme conditions anymore, you still are an athlete. You are still in the gym every day, lifting really heavy weights, cardio, boxing, and other various, physical activities. Can you share with us, your before and after journey of how your body feels recovery wise now? And then just, your before and afters with, just in general with how you were feeling now that you've actually been on Juice Plus. It's been a little over 3 years.
Yeah, of course. And thanks for the introduction, Mom. I love you.
Love you.
So, hi, everyone. And thanks for having me on here tonight. So, my story begins when I was in high school. I was a high school football player and track athlete. And during that time of my life, my mom always had me taking vitamins so I could stay as healthy as I could, because that was crucial in me becoming the best athlete that I could be. So my freshman year, I got mono really bad and noticed that after I fully recovered, my health was just not the same anymore. I caught just about every virus and bug and flu out there that you could get. And I was always on antibiotics and always sick. I also developed exercise-induced asthma and had to carry around a rescue inhaler and be on a maintenance one as well, unfortunately. So now, jumping forward a few years to my college days, nothing had seemed to change. I was in and out of urgent cares and doctors' offices just about every single month. I was a typical college student in a fraternity, which obviously meant lots of partying and staying up super late. And I was not really doing anything to better my health or immune system. So this all changed in my last year of college when my mom introduced me to Juice Plus. So now let me precursor a little bit by saying I'm not one to be a crazy advocate for stuff like this because it was my mom giving it to me, I had to at least give it a try. So during the first month, I noticed a pretty significant change to my energy levels. I would wake up every morning a little more refreshed day by day. Then about 3 months into taking Juice Plus, I look back at the weeks and realized I hadn't stepped into the walk-in one time. It was right then when I realized what seemed to have been like cracking the code to my own body and health. So after I finished my last year in college, I looked back and realized I only stepped into the doctor's office maybe one time in that entire year. And that hadn't happened since before I had mono as a freshman in high school. I also didn't have to carry around my rescue inhaler anymore and just used it occasionally.
So Logan, I know that you also had some amazing results with the Omegas. Can you share that story too?
Yeah, of course. Earlier, I talked about playing football. I played basically from age 10 to 22 years old. When I was playing, it wasn't how it is now with all the new rules pertaining to head collisions. When I played, I was leading with my head. I was trying to hit the ball carrier as hard as I humanly could. And in doing so, I got pretty banged up. So enough that it had followed me damn near my entire life like a shadow. I don't know if most of you know what CTE is, but it's a term used to describe brain degeneration likely caused by repeated head traumas. It's also a diagnosis made only at autopsy by studying sections of the brain, which means you can only detect it after you're already dead. So symptoms of this include depression, anxiety, brain fog, short-term memory loss, anger issues, and a ton of other symptoms that often lead to suicide. I was experiencing most of the ones that I listed. For example, when I went into the gym locker room to put things into my locker, for the longest time after my workout, I would come back and not remember which locker was mine. This happened almost every single time. After watching a video with Dr. Garrett Soldano that he did on his CTE symptoms similar to mine and how he added the plant-based omegas, my mom immediately added them into my daily concoction of Juice Plus. So I slowly started to feel less of these symptoms. After just a few months of taking them, I noticed a significant difference in my cognitive functioning. I was able to remember where my locker was without fail. I noticed that my anxiety had lessened, and I also noticed that the depression I felt constantly was lessening, and I felt happy at times for what felt like no reason, which I now know is how people are supposed to feel on a daily basis. But not only did the omegas help the CTE side of things, it has also helped my bad joints that I developed over time from such strenuous lifting and football. So me personally, I plan on taking Juice Plus and the omegas for the rest of my life, and I want all my friends and family to experience the same insane benefits that I have experienced through the years. But thank you all for your time, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Man, I love hearing from these young people. Hooray for the 20s, man. A couple I just was writing down here: acne, brain fog, energy. Like, we want to think like our 20-year-olds have all the energy in the world, but you guys you're staying up late, you're burning it at both ends, studying in the day, going out with friends at night, not eating the best. And yeah, energy starts lacking even in your 20s. And it's so awesome to see how much something so simple, because I know I have a 22-year-old, and me telling him to eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day is probably just not going to happen. So it's so nice to know that there is at least something that I can offer him to at least try to bridge the gap. Do I still try to get him to eat fruits and vegetables? Yes, yes, yes. This is not a substitute, but we can really keep people more healthy if we can put more fruit and vegetable matter in their body. And I always say matter matters, right? I don't care how you get it in there. You got to get it in somehow. So awesome to hear from you, young people. And I'm excited to introduce our next guest. We're moving on to our 30s, and I want to introduce Victoria Bravo. I'd like to think that she's the daughter that I never had as a mom of 3 boys. There we go. I think we got everyone muted. So I met Victoria in 2017, and we sort of just connected immediately. If you meet Victoria, she's light and love, and she's just there's no other way to put it. She's lovely. So inside and out. So we just really connected. Victoria is a tennis professional. So we're going to be talking athletics here again. She grew up in Tucson, Arizona, where I live, but lives in Minnesota now. Correct, Victoria? You're in Minnesota, right? And she started competing. She started taking tennis lessons at age 5 and started competing at age 9, which is very similar to me, by the way, with my gymnastics, Victoria. When I was writing these down, she's played as a junior national tournament player at the high school level and at the D1 collegiate level. She played her last 2 years of college at Catherine University, where she led her team to an undefeated season and conference championship, and was the first tennis player. It was the first tennis player to make it to nationals for her college, St. Kate's. Her most recent accomplishment is winning the USTA NTRP 4.5 5.0 national championship in 2019. So with those awesome accolades, I'm just going to throw it over to you, Victoria. I know you want to talk about really kind of where your life was before Juice Plus, where your life's at after being on Juice Plus for a few years, and go ahead, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, Mama Bear.
Anytime.
So me, hearing the stories of Francesca and Logan, I definitely did not have any of those issues growing up. I was pretty resilient as a kid. I never really got sick. I never had any sort of issues. I mean, probably the biggest issue that I had growing up was digestive. I didn't, it was kind of like what it was, like whatever. But I have a lot of energy, even, just naturally sort of thing. So playing tennis, not eating super well as a kid growing up, but I just kind of didn't know any different. And then I got into a relationship, and my partner at the time was a super healthy eater, like super, super healthy, salads, just the whole 9 yards. And so I got into that and completely did like a 180 with my nutrition, and that helped. And that was around the same time that I met Kristen. And my partner at the time is a very skeptical person. He's very like, prove it to me player sort of thing. But when Kristen told us about this, he was on board right away because of how simple Juice Plus is. So my experience with it, when I first started, I'm pretty in tune with my body, and I was well aware, like, oh, like I could feel the mental clarity right away. It was kind of crazy. But the biggest change for me, I think what happened was actually my female, you know, my female time. Like for some reason, being healthier on the inside just really connected me with that. And I think that that's, as of right now, that's probably the biggest thing that has really significantly changed. I mean, but brain fog, digestive, I mean, all those things lined up completely, but like 3 months in, 6 months in, a year in, I'm now 4 years in. It's really interesting also because right now I've been going through some big life changes, and you know, funny enough, we go through stressful times and your tendency is to go back on bad habits of not doing the things that your body wants or really needs. And so I've actually haven't been as disciplined on taking it, and I feel it. I can definitely feel that it's just added to my stress and to my brain, the brain fog, man. It's so there. But yeah, I mean, it's been a huge life changer, and especially for somebody like me who can get by. You know, I think there's a lot of people like me who don't go to the doctor's office very much, or don't have these certain like outlying things that are so what's wrong. But it was such the subtle changes, the energy, the brain fog, the digestion, the just overall clean. I felt clean. I feel clean when I'm taking them regularly. And I think that's the thing that I love the most and definitely miss right now. So I'm excited for Shred next month.
Yes.
So
Well, I love hearing that, Victoria. And you bring up such a great point, because I always like to point out that sometimes we don't feel prevention. You know, we don't think to ourselves, oh man, I can feel that I am not getting a cavity, so I'm going to keep brushing my teeth because that is really helping preventing me from getting cavities. We don't always feel prevention. But then sometimes, you know, we quit brushing our teeth because we don't feel prevention, and we're going to get cavities. And you kind of said it, like I haven't been quite as religious taking my Juice Plus, and I can tell now, I can tell, right? Yeah. So but not everyone feels it, and we have so many people that will say like, I tried it for a couple weeks and I didn't feel anything. And like, first of all, like, you might not feel anything, you're not always going to feel it, but the studies, the research shows that it is doing what fruits and vegetables do in your body. So I really appreciate you sharing. Just enjoyed watching you play amazing tennis, and I'm hoping that that Juice Plus has played a little bit of a role in keeping you strong and healthy out there on the court.
Oh, huge role for sure.
So,
and
yeah.
even more so now, you know, especially in this stressful time that I'm going through. It's kind of like I kind of feel like a safety, you know, like it's like, okay, I can count on my Juice Plus. Like I can count on that. So
keep taking it, sister. Yeah, keep taking that. And then, so I appreciate you coming on here, Victoria, and we're going to move along to the 40s. The 40s are coming up. So I want to introduce Wendy Oliveria. And Wendy is a work from home. She works part-time from home as an IT project manager. She's been married for 4 years. She has I believe about an 18-month-old daughter, Olivia, and she loves to incorporate Olivia into her mommy baby workouts. So I know you have quite a story to share with us, Wendy, and so I am just going to turn the floor over to you.
Oh, thank you. I love that introduction. And first off, let me just say, I'm so sorry, guys. My camera is not working, and I'm so upset because I did my hair and my makeup. But, you know, sorry, I tried. And I just want to say, like, for the 20s and 30s, oh my God, guys, get ready for this, because when I was 20 and 30, nobody told me about this. But so I do. My daughter is actually 21 months, and I'm part of the trend of women who waited to start their journey into motherhood. That was just my personal choice because I wanted to obtain my degree and pursue a great career before I jumped into marriage and children. And I'm happy I did it because that was just a very personal goal of mine to achieve. Now, what they don't tell you is when you get into your 40s, it's an emotional roller coaster of hormones. And this is true. I hit my 40s and all of a sudden I'm like, what is going on with my body? Things that I had never experienced, I started experiencing. So, I thought I was healthy because I've always been, fit and healthy and try to take care of myself. So because my exterior looked healthy, I was under the impression that I was healthy from the inside as well. So that was not the case. Almost 2 years ago, after having my first baby, Olivia, I started to struggle with mood swings, which drove me absolutely crazy since I'm always a happy and upbeat person. I started to notice, and this is like so gross, I started to notice neck and under chin acne. Mind you, I've never suffered from acne in my life. And the worst part was my energy was at an all-time low. That's not good when you have a baby that you need to look after. It's just not a good combination. So while all this was happening, my husband and I decided that we wanted to try for another baby, have, 2 babies back to back, get it over with, right? So I got pregnant very quickly. And I mean, we were just ecstatic. We were beside ourselves. We were so excited, as a matter of fact, that we decided to move into a bigger home to accommodate our growing family. Yeah, that's how excited we were. Well, unfortunately, all of that was taken away and we suffered a miscarriage. My doctor advised that I should start, a healthy diet, high in greens and omega fatty acids. Needless to say, I found it impossible to consume all the greens he wanted me to consume or to eat fish multiple times a week. It just wasn't happening for me. He also suggested fish oil, and that was just completely out of the question for me because you get those fishy burps. It's just gross. I don't like fish oil. However, I did start to tweak my diet here and there. So the following year, I thought I was, getting healthier, but it was just minor tweaks. I was in a desperate search to try to get those omega fatty acids in my body, like naturally, but I couldn't find anything. So after about a year later, we got serious about conceiving again. And so I started to monitor my basal body temperature. Like we're getting hardcore now, right? And I went to a fertility acupuncturist. I actually got pregnant right away. And we were ecstatic and over the moon. Everything was going great. Baby was growing. Everything was fantastic. And then we suffered a second miscarriage. I'm sorry, I still get a little emotional about it. It took me down a very, very dark rabbit hole. And honestly, it seemed impossible to get out of it. After several months, I still felt defeated but I hadn't lost hope. And I was desperately trying to feel like my old self again. And this is amazing. That's when the most wonderful thing happened. My friend Irene posted about the vegan omegas. I honestly swear to you, I went to her house that very next day, ready to purchase this liquid gold because I was like, a vegan omega? Are you kidding me? Once I was at her house, she showed me the vegetable blend and the fruit blend. And I was just like, it's going to be this easy to consume all these dark leafy greens that my doctor had been advising me on. Are you serious? It can't get any more, fast, easy, and simple as this. So I jumped on board. I was all in. Okay, so now I'm all in. I'm consuming the products, and I started to feel a difference within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I honestly started to feel better. I'm in tune with my body and how my body feels. So 2 weeks, I was like, wow, this is great. So then the most amazing thing happened, guys. I had the privilege to watch a live Zoom call with Dr. Wanda Chadwick, who specializes in fertility acupuncture, nutrition, and functional medicine. She shared her personal story and her struggle with reoccurring miscarriages. Now, I mean, this struck a chord with me, right? So the advice that she was given from Dr. Mitra Ray was to double up on Juice Plus and tweak her lifestyle for a healthier one. She was able to conceive 2 beautiful children from that advice that Dr. Mitra Ray gave her. Okay, well, this was an absolute epiphany for me. I had already been consuming Juice Plus, but I started doubling up on it and have been doing so, I think, for over a month now. And guess what I've noticed so far? I no longer have those extreme up and downs, which I'm sure my husband is so grateful for. And me too. I no longer have that neck and under chin acne. That's gone. My energy has tripled. And so now I'm like working out constantly. I'm including my baby in my workouts. It's great. She loves it. And the best part is that my basal body temperature graphs are significantly improving and they're starting to look normal. So they're not all chaotic. So, my hormones are getting back on track. I honestly give all the credit to one simple change, and that's adding Juice Plus to my diet.
I love that. I love that, Wendy. And we can't wait for the update because we really think that there's going to be some good news in your future. So we'll be watching you closely. And we're all pulling for you. I know we're getting a little bit long on time here. I'm going to keep my story super, super short. But basically, I'm a 54-year-old mom of 3 boys. Like I said, I was a college gymnast, and Juice Plus has been so amazing for my joint health. But I had 5 knee surgeries in the 4 years I was at college due to my athletics. And like so many people my age in their 50s, I have just worn my joint out. And so 6 weeks ago, yesterday, I had a total knee replacement. And, it's the doctor told me it was going to be a year of rehabbing. And so I just, I said, okay. And I settled in and I said, I'm going to be in for the long haul. I came in with 3 things. I came in with a can-do, crush it attitude. I came in with the commitment to rehab this thing like I was a college athlete again. And I came in with the good nutrition that I have as a dietitian and Juice Plus plant powders. And I just want to tell you guys a few things that have happened in the last 6 weeks. I walked one day on a walker, and then I ditched my walker. That was a waste of money that they made me buy. I've been leading my daily workouts that I lead on Facebook since week 3. I've been walking 1.5 miles a day in a hilly neighborhood with the dog since week 3. I clipped into my bike for the first time at week 5 and can get my bike moving on the trainer. I was going to go out on the street and ride yesterday, but I live in a really hilly neighborhood and I'm not so worried about biking. I'm worried about all the sand that's on the road from the monsoon. So anyway, I was at PT today. I have 130 degrees of flexion, which the PT said is really unheard of. He's like, that is amazing for 6 weeks. So, I just believe that what Juice Plus has done in my recovery, it's kept my inflammation in check. And so I'm able to rehab harder and longer than most people are able to at this point in their recovery, because I don't have the inflammation that most people have. So I know Lisa has a little bit of a story too, and I want to give her time. And so short and sweet, but I will not go a day without these plant powders.
Yeah, that Amazing. Amazing. It's all about the recovery. Recovery is important at any age, and especially from something like this, let alone from just recovering from working out or even recovering if we are getting over a cold or whatever. But it's amazing, amazing progress. So, like I told you guys before, I was, stay-at-home mom, raised my kids, and but I didn't tell you guys that part of my family history is a track record of diabetes, lung and heart disease, obesity. And I struggled with my weight for most of my adult life, and have done every diet program out there. And my weight, I fluctuated and yo-yoed 50 pounds up, 50 pounds down, like for 26 years, like at different times, 20 pounds, 40 pounds, like it didn't matter. It was always up and down. I never, ever, ever stayed the same. Talk about having sizes in your closet. Like you could have came and shopped at my closet, because any size I pretty much had, because I kept it, because I always knew that I was going to go back up again or back down again. So, and all I knew is that how important it was for my boys, husband, and family were to me. And I wanted to be a part of their lives and watch them graduate college, which I did, and start their own families and have a relationship with my future grandchildren, which my dad never had the chance to do because he passed away when he was 51 from complications to diabetes. And so did his brother and his father. So there's that. And I was like, that's not happening to me. So I started my journey. I was 46, and I'm like, I am going to change my lifestyle. This is not going to be a fad diet anymore. I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep it off, and I'm going to learn the ways to do it. So I did. I right before my 50th birthday, I had lost the 50 pounds that I wanted to lose. And, I was on cloud 9, and it was finally no longer in fear of being my family's history anymore. But so, you would have thought that I would have been like, I had all this energy and all these things were going to be great. And, but I had total acne. My face was covered with adult acne at 50, which was not fun. So I had to go on medication for that, and I wasn't recovering from my workouts, and I was getting sick. I would get sick at least one time a year around my birthday, and it would turn into pneumonia. And for like every year this would happen. And so needless to say, I was like, okay, I thought I was supposed to feel so much better, and I wasn't. But that's when I found Juice Plus. And long story short, I was able to get off the acne medication. I have not had pneumonia now in over 3.5 years, or even a cold. I'm going to knock on wood so I don't get one tomorrow. And I felt more energy, and I just felt better. So it was a total game changer when I started taking Juice Plus. But go back a little bit before I found it. And what my main thing is to talk about here is I for whatever reason, I started gaining, well, at that time, I didn't know the reason. I started gaining weight, and I was still strict. We're talking, I was regimented still. I was doing the same things I was before. And I started to put on a little bit of weight, and like 7 to 9 pounds, over a little bit, of time. And I didn't know why. I didn't know where it was coming from. And then then you go into that cycle in your head of like, now I need to reduce my weight, or I need to reduce my food again. And so I didn't know what was happening. So fast forward, I was taking Juice Plus, and I started to notice the weight kind of coming off a little bit, and which I thought, that's what, it's just, I must be eating better or something like that. Well, what I did learn, and through the education that is so readily available for us, is I learned how toxins cannot leave our body unless they are water soluble. So the only way to make them water soluble is eating a ton of fruits and vegetables. Well, I wasn't doing that before Juice Plus at all, because fruits had too many carbs in it. I would still eat some we know how hard it is to get in our vegetables, even though I would definitely not 7 to 13 servings. And we have a program called the Shred 10, and I started to learn even more that how to get the toxins out of our body, and other things to do, which if anybody wants to know about that, we have another talk, or reach out and we'll let you know. But I found out that was the reason why I was gaining weight, because those toxins in my body, all they wanted to do was all my body wanted to do was get rid of them, which it wasn't happening, or wrap up in fat again. That's what it looks for. So any little bit of fat that comes into your body, the toxins are going to go right to it, and they're going to wrap it themselves up. And then all of a sudden I started to gain weight. And Kristen talked about all the inflammation and everything like that happens. So I was sick, acne, and all the other things that I was experiencing, not being able to recover from working out. All those things were because I had so much inflammation, because my body was just overrun with all those toxins that were wrapped in that 50 pounds of fat that I got rid of. So of course it wanted it back. So I was able to finally get that education and understand that. I mean, nobody ever tells you really why you have to get toxins out of your system. That is why they are, I mean, they're basically going to kill you eventually if we don't get rid of them. And so that's why we love our shred program. So that's my, and I will always take Juice Plus, and I will always do my best to shred so that I can maintain my weight, because now it's been 3 years, I've not gained a pound, and I'm not strict anymore. I live my lifestyle and eat very well, but I also have dessert every once in a while. I also eat what I want when I want to, and I don't gain the weight, because that's not part of my, I'm not binging. That's not part of my lifestyle anymore. And I know my toxins are gone. So now I want to introduce our last panelist. Sarah is 72 years old and has always been in great health. We work out together at the gym, and she is stronger than a lot of people that are even my age. She is strong, and she loves to spend time with all of her grandchildren, which she has 8 of them now, who keep her very busy running around after them. And she loves spending time with her friends and her family, and is one of the best people I know. And, I might be a little biased because she is my mother-in-law, who I love, love, love dearly. So Sarah, tell us your story.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate that. And I love you. And thanks to Lisa, I started doing Juice Plus, but I want to say hi to everyone. I'm so happy to be on tonight with with such amazing people. And I want to thank you for asking you to share my story. I consider, like Lisa said, I consider myself to be a pretty healthy person. I've worked out. I've always, I don't have any autoimmune disorders or any of that. The one thing that I do have, I have had a lot of sinus infections. And I thought I was like everyone else in the world, where I would have sinus infections, and every couple of months I would be into the doctor, and he would give me antibiotics. And just about the time that I felt the headache go away and the ear pressure and the teeth hurting, I would end up going back in because the antibiotics weren't doing their job. So I'd be in for a second round. And it was like, I would also end up with upper respiratory infections. And that would be either, it was hard to say which would come first, the sinus infection or the upper respiratory infection, kind of like the chicken and the egg, which came first. And of course, with the upper respiratory infections, you always had that nagging, hacking cough. And I would cough so much that I didn't need to work my abs when I went to the gym. I'd get a good workout just with the coughing. And that would last for about 6 weeks. And as far as I knew, that was normal, a normal thing that most people had, that I was dealing with. And like I said, Lisa had introduced me to Juice Plus. She had invited me to a few Juice Plus home events. And after about the third one, I thought, wow, I learned something new every time I went. And I thought, this is kind of a no-brainer. Everybody should be taking this stuff. And it and all the women, amazing women that I would meet. And I'm the kind of person that doesn't really rush into things. As Lisa can tell you, it takes me a little while. It's like, well, maybe, I don't know. But I didn't realize how much my immune system needed support. I was great at taking all my vitamins. I took the multivitamins, the vitamin C, the vitamin B, the immune powder boosters, and you name it, and I was taking it. But I still dealt with the sinus infection and the upper respiratory. Since I started taking Juice Plus about 4 years ago, I think I've had only one upper respiratory infection, and I haven't had to take any antibiotics for sinus infections. The most that's happened in any given time is I've had sniffles. I've had some sniffles and maybe a runny nose. And I think that's maybe due to some allergy issues. But since I've been taking Juice Plus and taking all the fruits and veggies and berries and omegas, I've also realized that before is how strong my nails have gotten, and that they used to crack and break off. And they used to, because they were so flimsy, they used to bend. And I felt like I had witch's nails. So of course I'd keep them all short. But since I've been taking the Juice Plus and the omegas, they're strong. My hair's grown. And I've also recently just stopped taking, I used to purchase Move Free, I think it's called, to help with joints and all of that. And I ran out and I just didn't replace it. And I've noticed that I really don't need it because of all the things that I'm getting from the omegas and the berries and the greens and the fruits that I'm taking in the Juice Plus. And it's one less thing that I have to take and put into my body. And I just feel so much better and have energy. And I actually try to work out 4 to 5 times a week. Like earlier today, I worked out with my granddaughter, and we did chess today. So yeah, and she's going to be 21. So, and I pretty much kept up with her, which was a good thing. And that's my story. I just feel like by taking Juice Plus, I have extra armor around me, and everybody that I talk to, I tell them about it, and I just can't understand why they're not taking it. And they keep going, well, it's vitamins. And I go, no, it's not vitamins. It's your juices, and it's your vegetables and your berries and your fruits that you need to put into your body, because I know you're not eating the amount of fruits and vegetables you need to eat every day. Even though you think you might be eating them, you're not, and you're not getting them all in. So I have one girlfriend that I'm really working on trying to get her to convert. So
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I have to say, I have a feeling that you probably ran circles around my niece doing chess. I'm just going to say, because I work out with you and I know how strong you are. And it is amazing that you aren't, having the upper respiratory infections anymore. And just the fact that you're not putting in all those antibiotics into your body, I never knew when you were actually off antibiotics, in the past. So it is amazing what good nutrition does in our body. And I think, Kristen, did you want to wrap us up or?
Yeah, so we were going to go just a little bit longer, but I think we've gone plenty long tonight. So I think we're going to just wrap it up and, just encourage everyone. I have loved hearing all these stories of just through the ages. I mean, Sarah, I'm excited to get to be 70 now, man. I got someone to look at that. I'm like, I'm there, sister. So, but no, we really appreciate you being on here, everyone. And we are going to stay on for a few minutes. If you have any questions, if you don't, feel free to hop on off. Kind of ends our formal portion, but we will stay on for a few minutes. We'd love to answer some questions. If you do have questions and you don't want to answer them on here, please get back to the person that invited you to watch this. And we would love to get more, get you more information, get you whatever you need, tell you about our Shred program, tell you about how you get Juice Plus for free for kids age 4 to 18. So, or 4 through full-time college students. So we would love to tell you that, but I'm just going to say goodnight. Thank you for showing up. And if you have any questions, go ahead and stay on and we will be on here. So hit us up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop the live stream and I'm going to stop the recording.
You all did an amazing job sharing your stories. It's incredible. I've been with this company for 16 years, going on 17, and I